We are 2 weeks removed from the 2025 NFL Draft. We got some leaks coming out as to what the Bills' plans and intentions were going into this year's draft. Welcome on into the Bills Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Matthew Peterson. I'm a host here at Chat Sports, but I'm filling in today as we continue to search for a long-term host on the channel. And if we can get 500 likes off of today's video, then our boss is going to allow us to get more studio time to make more Bills content for you. So do me a big favor, click that thumbs up button down below. But let's talk about some of the draft intel that came out in a Jeremy Fowler written article from ESPN. Just a refresher as to what Buffalo did in this year's draft. I don't know about you guys, but I just love looking over the draft class for the next 2 to 3 months afterwards just to get familiar with all the names and every new addition to the team. But Fowler had some very interesting things to say, starting with this here. Some people I talked to in the process projected pass rusher Landon Jackson as a second-round pick. Jackson himself loosely expected to go in the second round, but braced for the third as a worst-case scenario. Buffalo, which spent significant time with him at Arkansas's Pro Day, from the workout to a lunch, got him at number 74. So let's talk about 72. Let's talk about Landon Jackson for a moment here. One, from a profile standpoint, the dude's pretty massive. I mean, 6'6", 264 pounds. So I think he is going to have a 3-point stance every single play, put his hand in the dirt, and he's going to line up opposite of the tackle, which is what he did for the Razorbacks. Started off at LSU. Only played, I wouldn't even say played, was there for one season as a freshman, got injured, not a great experience in Baton Rouge. So with the coaching change there anyway, he transfers closer to home to Texarkana, which was Arkansas, near Texarkana. It was a 3-year starter for them. He's the first guy in Arkansas football history since the 90s, 94, to lead the team in sacks and tackles for loss in back-to-back seasons. He is probably not a player that I project to be a high-end pass rusher at the next level, but I think he's going to have a nice role in the NFL as someone on early downs to set the edge against the run and maybe find himself in the lap of a quarterback for a few times here and there and have a nice career of getting 4 to 6 sacks and being someone who can help set up the pass rush for guys on second and third down. Brett Coleman, who runs a great YouTube channel, put out an awesome video breaking down his favorite picks for all 32 teams. And for Buffalo, he included Landon Jackson. And he made a great point that I want to reiterate. And that is, in order for the Bills' pass rush to get better, I think we need to look at it through a different lens. And it's not about stocking up on pass rushers. You could argue it's about stocking up on run stoppers. Because if you want to sack the quarterback, well, you got to have the quarterback drop back and pass, right? That's obviously priority number one. They're not going to drop back and pass if they have success running the ball on first and second down. But if you can get them to 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, because you stuff the run on first and second down, well, now your pass rushers can come in and pin their ears back. But they don't get that chance without guys like Landon Jackson, Deion Walker, TJ Sanders on first and second down, forcing 3rd and long. And the Bills' 3rd down defense last year was cheeks. So in order to get that 3rd down defense into a better spot, start making it more difficult by stopping the run on first and second. And I think that's where players like Landon Jackson can step in and help Buffalo out. Because the name of the game for the Bills is not winning the AFC East. They've done that already. Spoiler. It's beating the Chiefs in January. And the Eagles in February gave a pretty good idea as to how to do that. Rush 4. All right? Easier said than done. You got to have some good pass rushers to do that. But another way to help make sure that you can get to Mahomes without overcommitting by blitzing players, which the Eagles did 0 times, is look at the 6 sacks that Mahomes took in the Super Bowl. I'm looking at 3rd and 9. I'm seeing 2nd and 14, 2nd and 11. That was the down and distance when the sack occurred. Get the Chiefs in a pass situation and do that by stopping the run. And I think Landon Jackson is going to have a nice home in the NFL by helping his teammates out in those situations. So, really quick, before we look at the rest of today's episode, help us catch up to the Packers report help us help us separate ourselves from the Packers report in subscribers. If you have not yet, click that sub button down below. Trying to reach 5,000 subs on the channel. It's a race to 5K, so get yourself the best free Buffalo Bills YouTube content available. More on the Bills draft from Fowler, saying, corner Maxwell Hairston was clearly a first-round talent, and really Buffalo had invested heavily on offense in recent years. The Bills took skill players with 7 of their 23 non-quarterback selections in the top 3 rounds from 2017 to 2024. So while it's easy to wonder where the new receivers are, this draft, quote, scratched an itch, one team source said. A little bit of background on Hairston. For starters, cool story. I don't know if you saw this already. I don't know if I'm late to the party, but during the pre-draft process, when Hairston came to visit the Bills, I think it was Brandon Beane, but it might have been someone else talking with Hairston about the combine. He's like, hey, I guess it was before the combine, he said, or I'm hoping to run in the 4.2s for the 40-yard dash. And the Bills were like, please don't, because then you won't fall to us at number 30. You won't fall to us towards the end of round number 1. So I found that nugget to be interesting. The Bills knew early on, this is someone that we've identified as a great target for us. Now we need to maybe get a bong mask out there with his face behind it so he doesn't go before we're on the clock. But a little bit of background on Buffalo's first-round selection. A nice pros and cons chart here. Some pros. 1, the dude is fast. I think he had the fastest 40-yard dash time at the combine this year. Fastest for all DBs for sure at 4.28. He only started 20 games for Kentucky. He missed a good chunk of this past season with a shoulder injury. In 20 starts, he had 6 career interceptions, and a lot of those were returned for touchdowns, and long touchdowns too. So talk about a playmaker. He can play in a variety of coverages as well, so I think, defensive coaches are going to love that about him. Some cons. He's not the biggest guy in the world. He's got decent length, but 5'11", 183 pounds. He's nowhere near like Emmanuel Forbes small, but I'd have a little bit of concern of, hey, how well can this guy hold up against some of the bigger, beefier receivers? But I bet he can hold up well against Tyreek Hill, as long as it's probably not in the slot, because he primarily played outside corner. So usually when you get smaller, leaner, quicker, faster guys, you stick them in the slot. This is going to be a bit of a learning curve for him if that's the path Buffalo wants to go down. He also just needs to learn to tackle. And hey, that's not like uncommon for college DBs. They often just throw their bodies at guys. And even some NFL corners do that too, if we're being honest. But that's somewhere for him to improve on. Now, as for Buffalo not going with a wide receiver, in round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, and so on and so forth until round 7, I don't have much of a beef with that. It was not a very good wide receiver draft class. I know this is my first time on the channel, but if I was on this channel back in January, February, you would have heard me share what I said on the channels I do host for full-time, which is Ted McMillan's going to be the first receiver taken in this class, and I don't think he would have gone round 1 last year. I don't think he would have gone before Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, Brian Thomas. So we're talking a guy who went top 10 this year that I think would go bottom 10 at best in round 1 last year. I don't mind Buffalo not reaching for a receiver because Twitter says to do so. Josh Allen's an amazing quarterback. That's not, something you need me to tell you. The Chiefs have had a lot of success without having highly paid, star-studded receivers. I don't think the squeaky wheel for Buffalo right now is they're missing a first-round pick at wide receiver. They added Elijah Moore, who I think is a very talented receiver, and unfortunately for him, between the 2 teams he's played for, the Jets and the Browns, I think he's had almost 10 starting unique quarterbacks. Maybe not 8. So, yeah, don't you think Moore, former second rounder by the Jets, can probably find some success with a little bit of stability in a guy like Josh Allen? So let me know, should the Bills have gone wide receiver earlier? I would not ask Brandon Beane this because he'd get really mad at me like he did for that one radio show. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. All right. That is going to do it for us on today's episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Like I said, I'm a host here at Chat Sports, trying to help build up this Bills channel here. So if you have not yet, click that like button down at the bottom.